Hello, Chess64 here with Final Fantasy 13 for PC. Played it through a few times on PS3. This is my first playthrough on the PC port. Apparently it has some issues. Hopefully I can make it through the game. I'm going to be letting the cutscenes, except for the first cutscene, play out because I think Squeenix will probably throw a fit if I show the first cutscene in a video on YouTube. Why is it showing me keyboard prompts when I have a controller plugged in? Pretty sure I selected keyboard prompts in the menu. Or controller prompts in the menu, whatever. So, I've played this game a few times. It's not a typical Final Fantasy game. I get why some people dislike it, but I really enjoy it. It does have a very slow start, however.
Hey! Let's be rational now. Send the big guns now.
Another thing I'm going to be doing this series is I'm going to have annotations on any long cutscene to let you skip through the cutscene, because it does get really boring and dull. This game was quite poorly received, partially due to the battle system that we're about to see. The auto attack, which is what we're just going to be using for the first two chapters, pretty much, exclusively, because the first two chapters don't even introduce the main mechanic in the battling, which is paradigms. For example, both Saz and Lightning here are commando paradigm, and which means that I'm not going to be producing very much in terms of a stagger counter. But I am going to do relatively consistent damage.
Not so tough now, huh?
An interesting thing about the fight that's about to come up, the second fight against this dude, is that you can actually die during it. And at this point in the game, you have no ability to edit your character at all, so it's kind of bad design. And a lot of this thing's bad design. This game, again, was very poorly received. But, you know, first chapter is also pretty much the only area I plan on using Saz, like, unless I'm forced to otherwise, which I think I am during chapter 8 or something, or the festival. Because he is by far the most worthless character in the game. He's really an all-around damaging character, but he doesn't have any sort of specialty. So once the teams get up to 3 players, he's useless. So yeah, the big thing is if he doesn't do if the enemy doesn't do 2 wave cannons during this fight, you will die if he keeps doing that beam attack. Or is it if he does more than 2 wave cannons, you die. One of those. I think it's if he does more than 2 beam attacks. The plot of this game's pretty pointless. Something about an oppressive government. Yeah, okay, if he does more than 2 of those wave cannons. Look here, I'm very close to dying. I'm one hit off from dying there. Left the game with 18 HP. I think this is a long cutscene, so I'm just gonna let it play through.
Oh goodness. Whew. We did it. Aren't you supposed to protect civilians, soldier? I mean, you are Sanctum, aren't you? What are you doing trying to stop the purge? Why don't you tell me that?
I was a soldier.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Man. Chocobo, just can't catch a break, can we? Yeah, that's a good question. well. Better follow up. I'm getting too old for this.
So here we are in the first of many hallways in this game. As you can see from the mini-map, the area is just a hallway, and
You sure we can get through here?
I don't know why there's a mini-map, frankly, for the majority of the game, because it is all just hallways. I remember those portal things from the PS3 game. I wonder if there's some sort of patch. Or if my memory is just bad, because frankly this first section's super not memorable. This is the first battle, just 2 Psycom Wardens. The game has a rating system for how well you do in each battle.
The mess is what this is.
What is this? Oh no. Anyway, the game has a rating system for each battle that affects your loot chances and your loot drops. And it scales with what level you are, so it tries to make it so that if you perform average, it's always 3 stars. Though in the very beginning of the game, they just hand out 5 stars. Mostly because you can 2-shot all these wardens. Now, I'm going to be trying to dodge a lot of the fights. I think this one here is the first one I can potentially dodge. Let's see if I can get it. Nope. But I'm going to be trying to dodge a lot of these fights because the leveling, you get like 5 XP per fight, and you can't even access the level up system until you're on the 3rd chapter. So there's no point. Don't want to do a blitz here because it's just going to be hitting the one dude. Blitz does more damage overall if you're hitting at least 2 targets, but oftentimes you're trying to focus one down so that he doesn't deal, to minimize the damage that your team takes. So you can get your people off of medic, even though we don't have a medic in this party yet. This is what the chests look like in this game, the whole floating orbs that go to the ground once you collect it. Pick up a potion. There is one enemy in this, the boss of this level, that is going to be a bit challenging, but obviously shouldn't be a real problem.
Not wanting to get purged, I get. But taking on trained soldiers?
Better to die than get sent to Pulse. It's hell for Brimstone.
Yeah, well, hell's not sounding too bad, because this place ain't exactly paradise.
Domesticated peacekeepers. Nothing to worry about.
Maybe not for a soldier girl, but I'm trying to say, hey!
Alright, so if I get caught here, which I did, the dogs here are going to be the first time you will see the stagger mechanic. Stagger mechanic, if you notice this bar in the top right hand corner of the battle, is once that bar fills up, they gain an extra 100%. That percentage is how much damage you do to them. So now I'm doing 203% damage. And that, you know, it's effectively double the damage now. There are enemies. The stagger mechanic's the core mechanic of the game. You're just trying to get all the enemies up to stagger, at which point you enter a DPS phase. They generally attack less as well during the while they're staggered, so it makes it much easier to actually defeat them. 2 more potions. I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way for any more chests around here because frankly they're all worthless. Hopefully you can dodge this. Yeah, that one you just run through quickly because the guy has to do an animation before he can chase you down. Over there's the behemoth class enemy that you'll see later. Another thing in this game is there's a lot of enemies of the... There's only like 3 or 4 archetypes of enemy, and you're gonna see a lot of them. A lot of reskins.
Preemptive strike.
That is a very poorly delivered line. They just wanted to get that keyword in there.
So much for the element of surprise.
Would have been a good tutorialization of the preemptive strike system. Shame they didn't use it. Just some more auto attacks. Using the auto battle system. There are times later on in the game where I won't want to use the auto battle system, but for the most part, auto battle is going to get me through the game. It's just about grinding up to be a high enough level where it gets me through and picking the right paradigms, but again, that system isn't even introduced yet. A lot of voices for what a second ago seemed to be an empty bridge.
Do we turn back?
There's no time.
Then what do you suggest we do?
Quiet.
Hey! Wait! No, don't leave me!
I don't know why the frame rate's so bad in this cutscene, but it is. This is also the only time Lightning actually tries to do a flying thing. Which makes it weird that they would even introduce that, considering this is the first evidence of, like, superpowers that you see out of the main character. Oh yeah, I should probably introduce the main character. Here we have Lightning, who's
Looks that way.
supposed to be the protagonist. She gets her own games in the sequels. Though frankly, the character Vanille can be more so said to be the main character of this game. Frankly, Lightning is relatively unimportant and is just a Cloud clone. You know, dark, brooding individual. Shame I didn't get through that fight without having to do this fight. You're gonna see Blitz here. This little spinny attack. Changes depending on who you are. No, Snow is a hand grenade, I think. Saz, does cone AoE that where he just fires a bunch of bullets. An interesting thing is that you can actually dodge attacks by timing to do an attack at a specific time. It makes your character physically run, and that can cause an enemy to miss. Similarly, you can miss if the enemy runs, if it's a melee enemy targeting a teammate of yours and they run to that ally right when you're trying to swing on them.
Come on! Seems to be in working order.
Nice long cutscene here. I believe this is where we're going to be introduced to Snow. Bit of a... Oh no, there's this mini-boss first. Mini-boss is the first of the... I think they're the Templar class of enemy?
D4Ts, are we? Weapons down. I hate for this to turn ugly.
Turn ugly?
He wants to kill us without a fight.
Again, another great delivery of that line from Lightning. I don't remember what they're calling the attack chain, but I'm gonna skip it. I think I know the mechanics of this game. Gonna target the ads here first because it's generally what you do in these things. Wasn't very good blitz. I should have just done 2 attacks. Oh, and that attack just left him at 1. It's a shame. Marauder. That's what this guy's called. See there, I thought I was going to miss my second attack because he jumped back. And here you see what the stagger mechanic does. So now stagger is going to, if he gets attacked during any of his animations, he will stop doing that animation and not land that whatever attack he's doing. It is very good for preventing your team from taking excessive damage. Good 3 stars there. I believe the threshold to get 3 stars is 1,300 or 13,000, so it's pretty close to not getting it. And the score is all time based, how quickly you defeat the guy. So sometimes later in the game you'll want to just do riskier strategies to get the higher star counts and get a better chance of loot drops.
Huh? What's the matter? You quit, didn't you? Did you think I'm gonna go out there and just tell everybody your secrets?
My angle. I'm after the Falseer.
First time the Falseer talked about. Never really explained what they are. Or not in the beginning of the game, at least. I think once we encounter the 6th party member, we get to know what it is.
Didn't have a choice.
So now we're gonna leave our brooding protagonist and our black man with a gun behind and join the other half of the party. Only person in this whole sequence that matters, this initial sequence, is Snow, who's the guy with his fists and doesn't really use a gun. I don't know what in that was electricity. And that guy has some weirdly blue hair, given that we never see him again. Looks like main character hair almost, but...
Here. You keep your cool.
Now on the right is Snow. He's our next party member. He's the best tank in the game, late game, but he starts off with very high strength. So early game we will be using him for DPS. And late game we'll drop him for Fang because Fang is just better. Snow has his place in a build that where the other two are incredibly squishy, such as if you're going with the Neil and just trying to cast Death. He has a plate. Little chest behind me, but I'm not going to worry about picking it up. Again, none of these people matter. None of the plot matters. Just run down the hallway until I hit another cutscene.
This is crazy.
Then take a nap.
Really? Can I?
Sure.
Again, don't know what they're going for with the writing in this.
Oh, it's even worse.
No dirt naps today. We're all in this together.
I think the whole nap sequence might have just been for the dirt nap pun, which is awful.
What's to dread? Psycom's nothing but a whole bunch of bluster and bullying. They've got nothing on
Again,
you.
she's a very much... She looks like the girl from Final Fantasy IX, but again, we don't have to ever interact with her again after this sequence. Of course, we're good. This is also going to be the first area where we see the 3-person party, which is what we'll have for the majority of the game. Now, Snow and Gadot are both... Or no, Snow and LeBrow are both commandos. The LeBrow is set to give you a potion if you're ever wounded. So, health as Snow doesn't really matter. Gadot, however, is the Ravager class. Ravager creates or fills up the stagger bar very quickly.
Soldiers everywhere.
Yo, boss. What's the plan?
Charge in, guns blazing.
Hey, that's not a plan.
Real heroes don't need plans.
Yes, they do. But yes, Ravagers fill up the bar very quickly, but also make it degrade very quickly. So without good timing, and because you won't have control over anyone but your main character for the exact timing of their attacks, you will not be able to get away with just having 3 Ravagers attacking something and having the stagger bar stay up. So a common build later on will be a Commando and 2 Ravagers. Because Commando doesn't put the bar up very much, but creates a very slowly decaying bar. And the decay is the how the yellow goes to empty the bar. And then it becomes all red, and once it's out of yellow, it decays back to 100%. So it's completely pointless here, but I'm going to make sure to attack the ranged guys before attacking the melee because the glass cannons, whereas so by cleaning them up quickly I remove pressure from my team. Completely worthless for the early game.
Don't you kids go falling behind now.
Almost made it through there. Shame. Here's the example of the hand grenade attack. A lot of damage. The problem is with hand grenade that it lands significantly in front of the enemy you're targeting, so if they block back up at all, you're going to miss. And you should always be picking the person in the back center of the pack in order to make hand grenade hit the most people. Now in this cutscene we're going to be introduced to the two more of the main party, though we won't get to play with them as them this chapter. They are chapter 2.
You all okay? Hey, careful with those. Don't worry. No one's moving to Pulse today. We'll clear you a path out of here, so be ready to...
Wait! Let me fight with you!
You can't expect us to just sit here.
Good help.
Yep.
Please, let us help!
Okay then. Volunteers front and center.
Here, take this one. Here you go. And one for you.
Count
Go
me
for
in.
it. Here's yours. Take care now. Mom? Don't worry. Huh?
You should be worrying, Hope.
Steady.
Yeah, feels good.
Yep, nice.
Can you show me again?
You got it.
That's how it works.
You sure?
Yeah.
Now I'd like to point out these two characters don't actually know each other, according to the lore of the game.
It's the last one, boss.
It's the last one, so of course Snow isn't going to take it because he doesn't need a gun, he just uses his fists. And that's Hope being whiny, and here's Vanille, who's just going to take it.
Push comes to shove. Keep him safe.
First impression of Snow? All talk.
It's a pretty cringy reaction from
Alright,
Snow,
lay low
but there
and
you
you'll be
saw
fine.
Vanille
We'll clear
doing
out
a bit
the
of
area.
narration. And this led to some theories about Vanille being the architect of this whole thing, or it being her telling a story to somebody after the fact.
Everybody up!
But they only really hold that. They don't hold to Vanille being a narrator well enough for me to really buy that theory. I think they just had the Vanille voice actor in an extra day and gave her some more lines.
Time to go, kiddo.
We're not losing to SciComm, you hear me?
If I grab this chest, I don't remember what's in it. I think it's the first equipable item, yeah. So if I can figure out what key it is. It's triangle to open this menu, by the way. Got the Iron Bangle. Iron Bangle, well, bangles in general, increase your HP. I think iron's the lowest. There might be a bronze. Yeah, but bangles increase HP. Power gloves increase attack, I think. Just going for the guys in the back again, doesn't really matter. Hand grenade maybe hit both of them. Don't know why it progressed to this guy instead of the one that was already wounded, but... There we go. Another stagger. Probably...
How about this?
Yeah. Could have just skipped the first, ended it quicker at the first attack. I don't think I've shown that yet, but you can skip waiting for the bar to fully charge and just do whatever attacks you have executed. Or you have enough energy to execute at that point. So this is the Behemoth class enemy. The Behemoth class enemies are very weak to being very strong until they are staggered. At which point you gotta kill them quickly when they are staggered, or else they'll regenerate all of their HP and go into a more difficult form. This, of course, being the beta behemoth, that doesn't apply. This one, you just fight. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Very cool looking enemy, though. It's one thing they did well is made this game look good. Now, I wish the girl, LeBrow or whatever, would do less healing and do more just plain old attacking. Because she'll heal after pretty much every hit. And it's like, okay, I'm at basically full, I don't need a potion.
How about this?
So there you saw one of my attacks get interrupted. And there I did one early instead. So yeah, depending on if the enemy hits you while you're running up to hit them and haven't started the animation, your attack will be cancelled, but you'll save the ATB progress of the attack. And you'll continue on your attack chain, which can lead to some weird things if you set up a combo to be executed.
Stay down.
Snow magically dodges a bunch of bullets, but can't grab the gun. They're gonna do a bit of overkill here. I don't think that gun is really necessary to take out Snow. I also feel like a military aircraft of that size should be able to take a single RPG hit.
Moms are tough.
I'm not sure though. Don't know what that audio was either there. So now we see Hope and Vanille watching everyone die. They're sliding pretty smoothly along these heavily textured surfaces. Doesn't look like they're flat. The surface is flat enough for everyone to just be sliding so smoothly across it.
Please.
Hold on.
She just gives up and decides not to hold on.
Come on! We have to move!
Right.
Quick save and then back into another cutscene. I'm not going to be narrating over cutscenes too much just because it's going to be so much talking over nothing.
It's an out-and-out massacre. Those people won't even live long enough to die on Pulse.
That was the idea.
What?
Sanctum logic. They conjured up the purge to eliminate a threat. I mean, why carry the danger all the way to Pulse? Why not just stamp it out here? Execution masquerading as exile. That's all the purge ever was.
Relocation to Pulse. How does the government get away with pulling crap like that? And you knew this was gonna happen?
The purge was SciComm. Private Sanctum troops, not the Guardian Corps.
SciComm, Guardian Corps. Soldiers are soldiers, aren't they? Pulse Foul C and their lessee are enemies of the state. Tell a soldier to kill an enemy, and you really think it's gonna matter what uniform he's wearing?
Might have mattered to that one. Couldn't shoot. Got himself shot instead.
Nah, he shot. We have magic
How about you?
superpowers.
Order say shoot, you pull the trigger?
She's here, isn't she? I would think that would automatically make it an
Fine.
L.
Forget I asked.
Wait. What?
Alright, here's the real boss of the level. I don't remember if there's any gameplay after this or if it's all just cutscenes. Do know this isn't quite the end of the level though. I think there's more gameplay. Play as Lightning and Saz a bit more. Shouldn't have let Saz die, that's pretty bad of me. If your main character dies, your party lead dies, the battle's over and you've lost. Otherwise, you're fine, though. So, Saz can die, and all that really means is I have less damage and less HP to tank it. Now I need to heal up a potion. It's not quick enough on the inputs there, I could die. Would have been left with 6 HP. Oh well. Gotta show Lightning putting away her weapon twice there.
What's that? Huh?
Attention, purge deportees. Attention, purge deportees. Put down your weapons and surrender immediately. Your removal is the will of the people of Cocoon. Should you attempt to flee, the Sanctum will employ every resource necessary to bring you to justice. This land is no longer your home. Cease hostilities and surrender at once.
Sarah!
Just what you were looking for.
Yeah. Right in there.
The Pulse Foul C.
Don't worry. We'll be okay.
Mom.
So now this is our first real look at Vanille. You can see how different her outfit is. This is supposed to be referencing that she's coming from Pulse. I never really explained that, did I? After this cutscene, I will.
It's too much, isn't it? Face it later. Ciao!
Hey, wait!
You said it made you happy when I smiled, didn't you? But really, I was afraid. I was always afraid.
So, how do you figure that post-fallacy is different from the sanctums? All things being equal, I just as soon keep one.
Time to jump.
Yeah, I know. Hey! Hey! Hang on! What the? Hey!
Remember how people were falling to their death earlier? Yeah, it doesn't apply to lightning.
Damn. She can do it, so can we.
Come on, come on!
What about the others? They didn't die. They couldn't have died.
Of course not.
Hey, get a grip, man!
You can see a little
What's wrong with
treasure
you?
in the background that shows that this isn't a pre-rendered cutscene. And that we're going to be playing as these people in a moment. Snow and Godot.
Toss me that.
Catch. What are you doing?
So what are you afraid of, huh?
Fingers on the
You're
trigger.
supposed to be the hero.
Now his finger's not on the trigger.
She's waiting there, ain't she? Your lovely bride-to-be?
They wanted to demonstrate trigger discipline in a later shot, but in the earlier shot they forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's our ride.
Now you're talking.
Welcome back to those who chose to skip the
everyone's
cutscene.
alright.
So, the place we're currently in is called Cocoon, which is effectively a giant floating orb that humanity has moved into. And the oligarchs of this area do not want us interacting with Pulse, which is the earth beneath that humanity came from. Of course, in preventing us from interacting with Pulse, I don't want to do a hand grenade here. It would be awful, I'd probably miss both. In order to prevent people from interacting, much like, you know, any of the modern, well, North Korea, really. Godot can't die, by the way. Like, even those any ally whose HP is question mark, can't die. So you'll see him get targeted by another attack in a second, and he'll be fine. But so the government, the Fal'Cie, who act as the government, are attempting to limit people's knowledge of Cocoon, and they tell everyone that Cocoon or Pulse, and they tell everyone that Pulse is a uninhabitable wasteland, and being exiled to Pulse is as good as death, which is why a lot of these people are rebelling and trying to not get exiled to Pulse.
I want every weapon ready to fire.
The problem is, as we'll see later, Pulse is fine. There are a few bad spots, but, you know, there's still some society down there.
Go!
That's why, what's her name, Vanille's clothes in the last cutscene were different, and they really should have made a bigger deal about it in the cut. Oh, I missed completely with that hand grenade. That's, I should just go with attack. That's why I normally just go with attack. Especially when playing snow. But, yeah, Vanille's, from Pulse originally. So, no one really commented on it though for some reason. Even though she was wearing the garb of a religious cult thing that, like, worships Pulse or something. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the plot.
Sad sound. Where's the soul?
Intro of this song reminds me of Thunderstruck
If you don't know who you've got to say,
by
you just
AC/DC,
protect them
or is it
all,
Thundershock?
Right? Something on your mind? You got plenty of time for thinking on the way, hero.
Yeah.
Ready! Go! Hey! It's us! It's us! Don't shoot!
Snow!
Since when do you care about kids?
Favor for a friend.
Friend met like a half hour ago
Snow!
and died 15 minutes ago.
Go. So,
Hey.
you really managed to use that thing?
I think I'm done.
You're done when we are.
Ow! What?
That's the one.
Didn't you have something to tell him?
Yeah,
All right then.
but
I'll go with you.
what?
You have no idea what it was like. Oh,
Everyone's safe?
the army's no match for Nora.
I meant the kids.
All accounted for.
Okay. Let's keep it that way, all right?
And none of them are going to react to her shouting hey. Completely did not notice it.
I'll swing by the vestige. Keep the kids out of trouble.
You got it. Say hi to the missus for me. You go skirt chasing, I take care of the kids. Some husband
Dinner's on me.
better be home cooking.
When's the wedding, lover boy?
Well, don't worry, none of you are invited.
We're still going.
Hey, you serious? What about me?
And his friends can't take a joke at all.
Catch you later.
Oh, I'm playing again. Thought thought it was just cutscene for the rest of the time. I think it is all cutscene now because I didn't think you got to play as Hope and Vanille at all during this chapter.
Tell him. It's just that.
Say, you know how to fly this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. In you go. That way.
No.
Huh?
If we go in there, that thing could. It could make us l'Cie. This is. I don't think I can.
You can do it.
What are you two doing?
Spoiler, she's already l'Cie.
Here we go!
I think. It's not really a spoiler because they never even explain what l'Cie are.
Get back here! You hear me? Hey!
The pulse val'Cie. It held our future. And our fate.
And end of chapter 1. Alright. Don't know how long until I'll upload chapter 2, but plan on doing it. Ooh, did not mean to create a second save data. Oh well. See you next time.